Hello accounts people, time to have a look at some formulae or formula. We're following the AAT specification. The principles of costing exam isn't a live spreadsheet exam, so what you're showing the examiners is that you know what formulas you would type in and how you use formulas. It's going to be marked by computer, so we've got to learn to some extent how they want us to answer the questions. So to start off with then, okay, sum is just add. We can sometimes use a plus symbol in real life, but actually in this exam we're going to use equals sum. And you must use the cell references, so if I wanted to add the 2 and 10 from the table below here, and it's helping us, it's highlighting the cells so we don't make any typos. If I really wanted to do C17, I could change it now because it's visibly in front of me on the screen. And I am fully aware that that would work, but not in this exam. So the other version, the lower version, notice the comma turns into a colon. It's for a range. So again, Excel is going to help us. It's going to show us exactly what we're going to add up on screen. So accuracy is speed, no clicking, no dragging, type in cell references and you won't go wrong, and you'll be quicker than somebody goes click 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 all over the place. I've had lots of students try that and pick up really bad habits, sometimes in the workplace, and just don't do everything with a click. So type in the cell references. There isn't a function like sum for subtraction. Minus or less than or anything like that doesn't work, so we've actually just got to type in the formula. So if I wanted to take the 20 number for some reason, again it's helping us by highlighting and take the 10 off it. If I got that the wrong way round, it's obvious because it's even coloured it blue and red. Multiplication uses the asterisk. So we'll do 10 times, I don't know, 55 for some reason. And then division uses the slash, so equals 20 divided by 2 is going to be 10. Again, it's all the time, it's highlighting us, and we're typing in the cell references, which is what we should do, because task 7 on the principles of costing exam is a budget exam, and budgets have to be updated if you get new information. So if a letter arrived from the gas company, we're no longer paying £2 per unit for gas, we're paying £5 per unit for the gas. All I need to do is to change the unit cost, and it updates everything else with it. Had I typed in the 2, I've got a lot of retyping to do. So if I show that one, I'd have to retype the formula in every one of these cells, and obviously on a real world it could be a lot more than that. Whereas I've only needed to change 2 to 5 once, which is why we type in cell references. Whilst we're on that page, we can just have a quick look at the auto sum. Auto sums there. It's also on the home menu as well. It's added those up. If you look at the formula, you can show formulas C15 to C18, which in other words the way AAT want you to type things in. Remember, accuracy is speed. So let's just mess about with this a little bit. I'm just filling them in using a shortcut. If I just highlight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, don't tell it where I want the answer, it just puts the answer in the next available column, or the next available row if I was working down. But maybe these were months, that's the first 6 months of the year, that's 12 months, but actually I need the answer in the next column. That's okay, it will do that for me, which means that when the rest of the year's figures come in, it updates the total whereas here I've got a problem. It doesn't have to be there, it could be anywhere. As soon as it hits a blank, it puts the answer in the next, or the end highlighted cell. That's the best way of describing it. There we are. Right, let's move on then. The multiples. So what I've done is I'm going to do these versions of that formula. I'm going to move the brackets around. Big maths, or bod maths if you're my age, should have been taught this at school, means that you solve complicated formulas or multiple functions by doing the brackets first, then in the indices. Won't see those at level 2, but divisions, multiplications and additions, it will do a division before multiplication and an addition. So this formula as it stands came out at 15.5. Now if you ran left to right, it doesn't. It would have done 6 plus 8 plus 1, which is 15, times 5, 75, times 3, 225, divided by 10. We'll do that one later. But it didn't. It did, no brackets, no indices, it did the division first. So it worked out the 0.3, the 3 divided by 10. Then it did the multiplication, so it did 1 times 5, working from the left, times 0.3. On this case it wouldn't matter, 1 times 5 times 0.3 is the same as 0.3 times 5 times 1, doesn't make any difference. 1 times 5 times 0.3 is 1.5, then it's going to add the 6 and the 8 in, which is how it came to 15.5. So 1.5 plus 6 plus 8 is 15.5. But if that wasn't what I wanted, because the information has come from a different source, I'm just typing it in, I'd need to show it with brackets, help the computer, but actually it's the way you do it on paper in your maths lessons as well. So if I really wanted to add the 6 plus the 8 plus the 1 together first, that's no problem. Let's just see what it would do. So we've worked out the 15, because it's done the bracket first, then it's followed the rules, then it's done the 0.3. Because it still does a division, and then it's going to do the multiplication, so 15 times 5 times 0.3. So it's going to come up with a different answer. Well, let's have a look. I'll fill these in ready, take that formula, put the brackets in, see what happens. I'm going to get the different answer. So 15 and the 0.3, so 15 times 5 is 75 times 0.3 is 22.5. Let's have another one. So just put the brackets before and do the division at the end. It's going to still follow the rules within the bracket. It's going to do the multiplication before the addition. So it will work out within the bracket, it will work out the 1 times 5 times 3. Then it's going to add the 6 and the 8. And 15 plus 6 plus 8 is 29. And it's going to do 29 divide 10. I've got to write this type divide because there's a shortcut that will confuse things. So let's see, I reckon 29 divided by 10 2.9. So we just moved the bracket at one place, got a completely different answer. 22.5 turns into 2.9, moving the bracket to a different place. And then this one's got a double set of brackets. What it's going to do, that set of brackets, then that, doesn't actually matter really, because, and then add them together. So it's going to work out 14, the 6 and the 8. It's then going to work out the 5. It's going to do the 14 plus the 5 to finish off the bigger brackets, the outer brackets. And then it's going to work out the 0.3, the division. and then it's going to do 19 times 0.3. So bracket, solve the bracket, solve the bracket, solve the big brackets, then on to division before it does the multiplication, because otherwise it will be whatever 19 times 3 divided by 10. It would actually work out the same in this case. So sometimes working left to right doesn't matter. 1 times 5 times 3 is the same as 3 times 5 times 1. But if it was a minus or division, it would matter, because 1 minus 5 minus 3 is minus 7. 3 minus 5 minus 1 is minus 3. Let's put these brackets in. Okay. So here we go, the Greek system. For maths. Pythagoras would be proud of me. Good working. Right, so percentages then. Percentages mentioned in formatting, and we know it comes up in some of the practice papers from the publishers. We're not really sure what it's coming up in the exam, but if you know the answer and what to do, you'll be fine. So all you have to remember that if a cell is already formatted as a percentage, we don't need to do the times 100, and it will tell you it's a percentage. So if I want to do 20 as a percentage of 100, keep the math simple. I don't need to do times 100 because that cell has already been formatted as a percentage. It's done that effectively and it's telling me the answer is 20%. If it wasn't formatted, the percentage needs to be a column header. It's okay, so we know it's a percentage, but I now need to do multiple by 100. And it doesn't say percentage, but there's a percentage up there, so both useful, both different ways. These numbers can be shown to different decimal places as required, and that will do for now.